Hey everybody, wanted to provide a quick update to Champion City Church from your teaching team. We, as you know, just concluded our Lenten series with Easter Sunday and are now getting ready to launch into a whole new series that we are very excited about. We planned this back in January, obviously before the pandemic went into full effect. So this is not the way we intended to deliver it, but we actually think it's going to be very appropriate for this season of our lives, and we're really excited to get into it. So this next series is going to be called Dear Sons and Daughters, and it's going to be an overview of each of the letters that the Apostle Paul wrote that we have recorded in the New Testament. Well, at least 13 of them. There's debate as to whether he wrote 13 or 14. We're going to cover the 13 known letters. And depending on whether you believe Hebrews was written by him or not, he either wrote almost or just over half of the books that we have recorded in the New Testament. So he's very influential on the way we view the Bible. He really helped us, Paul, that is, shape the way we read the story of Jesus, helped us shape our understanding of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and what that hope means for all of us. So we're very excited to be sharing this with you. The reason we're coming at this series is because many times when we look at the Pauline letters and look at his work, we have a habit of just reading it in individual verses or in short paragraphs. Like we'll quote, "All things work together for good to those that love God," or we'll read, "By grace you've been saved through faith, not by grace you've been saved through faith, not of works, lest any man should boast." These are very short tidbits that we tend to extract and pull out, and so we'll know a whole letter by a simple phrase. And it might take us something like 6 weeks to do a series normally on one of his books or one of his letters, but these were written as full letters for very specific situations to specific groups of people, and so they weren't intended to be broken into sermon series, but to be read in one sitting to a specific group of people with a very specific concern. And so we want to go through and just give everybody in our congregation opportunity to see, here's the reason Paul wrote the letter to the Romans, and here's the reason Paul wrote to the church at Colossae. And here are the main points and the main themes of that letter. And this will help us when we do go back and look at those small verses or the chunks that sometimes we pull out. We can place them in their proper context, and hopefully that'll help us bring more meaning to it. It'll help all of us understand the books of the Bible just a lot better. Each of these letters was written under very different circumstances, and so this shouldn't be a very repetitive or redundant series. Paul writes some letters to churches that he founded, with whom he's very familiar. He writes some of his letters to individual men that he mentored and became pastors after him. Some are very encouraging, and others are very confrontational. Some of them he wrote from prison with the full knowledge that he would never see the people he was writing to again, and so they're sentimental. They're full of grief sometimes, they're full of urgency, and we really want to communicate those things with you guys over the next few weeks. So our goal for the series is to help, like I said, paint a portrait of the whole of the letters. So again, if I read, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me in Philippians, that I understand that that's situated in a letter where Paul is saying that I can be content in my suffering because I know that I am a citizen of a different kingdom, and read how that just carries itself all through the letter. And we hope this is going to be, number one, interesting to you, but also very encouraging and helpful, and to really kind of help really grasp the idea of these letters. We're going to do a couple things. First off, we'll be doing these short overviews. We're not going to get really down into the nitty-gritty of each individual letter because we're just going to spend 1 week on each one. We're going to be sharing a great resource with you guys. Actually, not that we can share, it's on YouTube already, but the Bible Project, if you look it up on YouTube, has overviews of every book of the Bible. And so during the week before we preach our sermon or before we upload our sermon to YouTube, we'll be sharing that with the church body so you can get a good sense of where they're coming. They do a really fascinating job, and they draw it in pictures. So if you're a visual learner, it'll really help, and let you see from their perspective kind of what the whole point of each letter is. And we're really excited about this is Amy's idea, of course, we're going to be writing our own personal letter, kind of our own modern adaptation for each week. So this week, Amy is preaching on Romans, so she wrote a letter in the theme of Romans for the whole congregation, and we're going to be sending that out to you so that you can get the feel of those letters the way it would have been to receive a letter. Obviously not the same, but the way it would have been to receive a letter with all of the emotion, weight behind it that the Apostle Paul was carrying. We're going to try and somewhat recreate that in our own way to share with you, because we miss all of you terribly, and we miss communicating with you, and so we're trying to discover new ways to do that. So this really feels like it fell at the perfect time, even not knowing what we didn't know back when we decided on this series. So we're very excited about it. Stay tuned. Keep an eye on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel for further updates where you can see this series. We'll put it all together in a playlist so you can watch it each week as they come, or all at once they're all up. And again, we're very excited to be giving it to you guys. Hope everyone's doing well. We love you very much. Grace and peace.